I thought bragging about sleeping with my ex in front of everyone made me powerful, until my husband quietly destroyed my career, took everything, and left me begging on his porch with trash bags. I bragged about sleeping with my ex at a dinner party in front of my husband, our friends, and his business partners. I thought it made me look bold, desirable, powerful. I was wrong. I'm writing this from my sister's basement, unemployed, divorced, and blocked by everyone I once called family. My ex won't return my calls. My husband rebuilt his entire life without me in it. And the worst part? I handed him the knife and showed him exactly where to cut. This isn't a redemption story. This is a warning about what happens when you mistake cruelty for confidence and forget that quiet people aren't weak. They're just waiting. His name was Daniel. We'd been married for 6 years. Together for 9. He was a software engineer, the kind of guy who fixed things without being asked, who remembered my coffee order, who never raised his voice even when I gave him every reason to. I told myself that made him boring. Daniel wasn't flashy. He didn't post on social media. He didn't need to prove anything to anyone. He had a tight circle of friends from college, a solid career, and a calm confidence that I mistook for passivity. I thought I could do whatever I wanted because he'd never fight back. The affair started 6 months before everything collapsed. My ex, Ryan, reached out on Instagram. Just a casual message. "Hey, saw you got married. Hope you're happy." I should have ignored it. Instead, I responded. Then we were texting. Then meeting for coffee. Then I was lying to Daniel about working late, about girls' nights, about needing space. Ryan was everything Daniel wasn't. Loud. Charming. The kind of guy who made you feel like the only person in the room. He cheated on me twice when we dated in college, but I told myself he'd changed. That he wanted me back because I was special. The truth? Ryan wanted me because I was married. Because I was someone else's. Because conquest was the only thing that ever mattered to him. But I didn't see it. I was too busy feeling alive again. Daniel never suspected. Or if he did, he never said anything. He kept making dinner. Kept asking about my day. Kept being the stable, dependable man I'd married. And I resented him for it. My friends didn't help. Jessica and Mara, my college roommates, thought the whole thing was exciting. "You deserve to feel wanted," Jessica said over wine one night. "Daniel's a good guy, but come on. Where's the passion?" They didn't know I was actually cheating. I let them think it was just flirting. Just attention. Just me exploring options. Social media made it worse. I'd scroll through Instagram seeing women my age with exciting lives, exotic trips, men who looked like they stepped out of cologne ads. Daniel didn't photograph well. He didn't perform for the camera. I started to believe I'd settled. I started staying late at Ryan's apartment. Started deleting texts. Started showering the moment I got home. Daniel never questioned it. He trusted me completely. That trust felt like permission. The sex with Ryan was different. Urgent. Risky. We'd meet in hotel rooms during my lunch break. He'd text me during dinner with Daniel, and I'd smile at my phone while my husband asked about my day. I felt powerful. Like I was getting away with something. Like I'd beaten the system of boring suburban marriage. Ryan would tell me I was too good for Daniel. That I deserved someone who matched my energy. That Daniel was holding me back. I believed him because I wanted to. The night it all fell apart started innocently enough. Daniel's company was hosting a dinner for potential investors. Big deal. His boss, 2 partners from a venture capital firm, and a few colleagues. Daniel asked me to come, to make a good impression. I agreed. I even dressed up. But I'd been drinking before we left. Liquid courage, I told myself. Really, I was just restless. Ryan had texted earlier saying he missed me, and I felt that familiar thrill. At dinner, I was seated next to one of the investors, Marcus. Mid-40s, confident, asking questions about my work in marketing. I could feel him paying attention to me. Really paying attention. And I liked it. Daniel was at the other end of the table, talking tech specs with his boss. Boring stuff. I felt invisible to him, even though we were at the same table. So when Marcus asked if I'd always lived in the city, I saw an opening. "No," I said, loud enough for the table to hear. "I actually dated a guy here in college. Ryan Hayes. Total player, but God, he was fun." A few people laughed. Harmless anecdote, right? But something in me wanted more. Wanted to be the center of attention. Wanted Daniel to see that other men found me interesting. The wine had loosened my tongue. The attention felt intoxicating. "We actually reconnected recently," I said, smiling at Marcus. Grabbed coffee a few times. He's still got that charm, you know. Still knows exactly what to say. I saw Daniel's boss glance at him. Daniel's face was neutral, but his jaw was tight. I should have stopped. I didn't. Ryan always knew how to make me feel alive, I continued, my voice carrying across the table. Daniel's great, but Ryan? Ryan makes you feel like you're the only woman in the world. The table got quieter. Jessica, who was there with her husband, gave me a warning look. I ignored it. Marcus was still smiling, but it looked forced now. Uncomfortable. Then Jessica, trying to salvage the moment, laughed nervously and said, "Careful, Emma. You're going to make Daniel jealous." And I said the words that destroyed my life. Daniel doesn't have to worry. Ryan already got what he wanted. Multiple times, actually. I laughed. Like it was a joke. Like I was being provocative and fun. The table went dead silent. Daniel's boss put down his fork. One of the investors cleared his throat and stared at his plate. Jessica's face went white. I looked at Daniel. His face was blank. Not angry. Not hurt. Just blank. Empty. Like I wasn't there at all. Marcus stood up abruptly. "Excuse me, I need to take a call." The dinner fell apart after that. People made excuses. Left early. Daniel's boss shook his hand and left without looking at me. Within 20 minutes, the table was empty except for Daniel and me. He stood up. Put his napkin on the table. Started walking toward the exit. I followed, suddenly sober, suddenly terrified. "Daniel, wait." He kept walking. We got to the car in silence. He unlocked it. Got in. Started the engine. I climbed in, my heart pounding. Babe, I was kidding. You know that, right? It was just a joke. He drove. His hands were steady on the wheel. His face was calm. Too calm. "Daniel, please say something." "There's nothing to say. It was a stupid joke. I was drunk. I didn't mean." "Yes, you did." His voice was quiet. Controlled. Terrifying. "You meant every word. You wanted everyone at that table to know you cheated on me. You wanted to humiliate me in front of my colleagues, my boss, and the investors who could change my career. That's not. You wanted them to see you as desirable. As someone who could do better than me. As someone powerful." Tears were streaming down my face now. "Daniel, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You were thinking you could destroy me and I'd just take it." He pulled into our driveway. Turned off the engine. Then he looked at me for the first time since dinner. His eyes were empty. "Pack your things. You have until tomorrow morning. After that, the locks get changed." "Daniel, please." He got out of the car and walked into the house. I sat there, shaking, realizing what I'd done. I went inside. He was in the bedroom, pulling a suitcase from the closet. "What are you doing?" "Packing. I'm staying at Andrew's tonight. Tomorrow I'm getting a lawyer." "Daniel, we can work through this." "No." He folded a shirt. Placed it carefully in the suitcase. His movements were methodical. Precise. Like he was checking off a list. "You don't get to do this," I said, anger replacing panic. "You don't get to just leave after 9 years because of one stupid comment. Emma." He stopped packing and looked at me. "You cheated on me for months. You lied to my face every single day. You humiliated me in front of people who control my future. And you did it on purpose." "I made a mistake." "No. You made a choice. Over and over and over. And tonight, you chose to destroy me publicly because you thought it would make you feel powerful." He zipped the suitcase. "I won't give you that power anymore." He walked past me. Down the stairs. Out the door. I ran after him. "Daniel. Please. We can fix this." He put his suitcase in his car. Turned to face me. "There's nothing left to fix. You burned it all down. Now you get to live in the ashes." He drove away. I stood in our driveway, alone, and finally understood what I'd done. I called him 37 times that night. He never answered. I texted. Begged. Sent voice messages. Nothing. I called Andrew at 3 a.m. He answered, groggy and annoyed. "Emma, don't call me again. Daniel asked me not to tell you where he is. I'm respecting that." "This is insane. I made one mistake." "You made 1,000 mistakes. Tonight you just finally admitted it." He hung up. I tried Ryan. Surely he'd help me. Surely he'd tell Daniel it was exaggerated, that we could fix this. Ryan's number was disconnected. I showed up at his apartment the next morning. A different name was on the mailbox. His roommate answered the door. Ryan moved out 2 weeks ago. Didn't leave a forwarding address. Ryan was gone. The moment it got messy, he vanished. I destroyed my marriage for a man who didn't even stick around long enough to watch it burn. The divorce papers came 5 days later. Daniel wasn't asking for anything. He just wanted out. Fast. Clean. Final. I hired a lawyer. Tried to contest it. Tried to delay. My lawyer was blunt. Emma, you publicly admitted to adultery in front of witnesses. He has grounds for fault divorce in this state. You have no leverage. Sign the papers. I signed. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my boss. Emma, we need to talk. I was fired? Not officially for the affair. Officially for conduct unbecoming of company standards. One of the investors at that dinner sat on the board of my marketing firm. He'd made a call. I was toxic. Unemployable. Within a month, I'd lost my husband, my job, and my apartment. The lease was in Daniel's name. He'd been paying most of it while I spent money on hotels with Ryan. I had nowhere to go. My sister let me move into her basement. But I heard her talking to her husband at night through the heating vents. I don't know what she expected. Daniel was perfect. She threw him away like garbage. Everyone blamed me. And they were right. 3 months after Daniel left, I saw the engagement announcement on Instagram. I didn't follow him. He didn't have social media. But his new fiancée, Sophie, did. And her page was public. The photo showed them hiking. Daniel was smiling. Actually smiling? The kind of genuine, unguarded smile I hadn't seen on his face in years. Sophie was pretty. Not Instagram model pretty. Real pretty. The kind of woman who looked happy without trying. The caption, he said yes. Building forever with my favorite human. 400 likes. Dozens of comments from people I didn't know, all saying the same thing, you two are perfect. And finally someone who deserves him. I stared at that photo for 2 hours straight. 3 months. He'd moved on in 3 months. Like our 9 years together meant nothing. I scrolled through Sophie's page obsessively. Photos going back 12 weeks. Coffee dates. Dinners. A weekend trip to the mountains. Her friends commenting on every post, celebrating them. Daniel had built a whole new life. Without me. I called him from my sister's phone, knowing he'd blocked mine. He answered, probably thinking it was her. Emma, don't. You're engaged? Already? I'm hanging up. Daniel, we were together for 9 years. You can't just replace me in 3 months. His voice was ice cold. I'm not replacing you. I'm moving on from you. There's a difference. This is insane. We had a life together. We had a lie together. You were sleeping with Ryan for 6 months while I paid our bills and trusted you. Now you're mad I found someone who actually respects me? She doesn't know you like I do. She knows me better than you ever did. Because she actually cares. Daniel, please. You had every chance to be the person I thought you were. You chose to be someone else. That's not my problem anymore. I made a mistake. No, Emma. You made a choice. Every time you lied. Every time you met him. Every time you came home and kissed me with his cologne still on your clothes. Those were choices. I was crying now. Ugly, desperate crying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, can we just talk? There's nothing left to talk about. You humiliated me. You destroyed my reputation at work. You threw away everything we built because you wanted to feel powerful. His voice got quieter. Harder? Well, congratulations. You destroyed me. But I rebuilt. And the new version doesn't include you. He hung up. I tried calling back. Blocked. That's when I broke completely. I found Daniel's new address by following Sophie's geotags on Instagram. I drove there at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. I knocked. Then pounded. Then screamed his name. The door opened. But it wasn't Daniel. It was Sophie. She was calm. Not scared. Not angry. Just calm. Like she'd been expecting this. Emma, right? I need to talk to Daniel. He doesn't want to talk to you. That's not your decision to make. Actually, it is. This is our home. You're trespassing. Who the hell do you think you are? She didn't flinch. I'm the woman he's building a future with. You're the woman who destroyed the past. Now leave, or I'm calling the police. You don't know him. You don't know what we had. I know he's happy now. I know he sleeps through the night without nightmares about you. I know he doesn't check his phone with dread anymore, wondering what you'll destroy next. Her voice was steady. Kind, even. Emma, I'm not your enemy. But I'm not letting you hurt him again. Leave. Please. She closed the door. I stood on that porch with trash bags of my belongings in my car, screaming at a stranger's door, begging to see a man who'd erased me from his life. A neighbor came out and threatened to call the cops. I left. The restraining order came a week later. I wasn't allowed within 500 feet of Daniel, Sophie, or Daniel's workplace. My sister sat me down. Her patience was gone. Emma, you need therapy. Professional help. Because this is pathetic. He was my husband. He was. Past tense. You cheated on him, humiliated him, and now you're stalking his fiancée. What did you think would happen? I thought he'd forgive me. Why would he? You didn't just cheat. You bragged about it. You destroyed his career prospects. You made him a joke. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes. And you're still making them by refusing to accept responsibility. She was crying now. My baby sister, who'd always looked up to me, was crying because of what I'd become. I love you, Emma. But I can't watch you destroy yourself anymore. You need to leave. What? You have 2 weeks to find somewhere else to live. I have kids. I can't have them seeing this. Seeing you like this. I moved into a studio apartment in the bad part of town. Roaches. Thin walls. $53 left in my bank account after first month's rent. I got a job at Target. 22 hours a week. My manager was 24 years old and called me ma'am. I applied for marketing positions. No one called back. Turns out, when you publicly destroy your marriage at a professional dinner, it follows you. My parents stopped calling. When I finally got my mom on the phone, she was blunt. Honey, what do you want me to say? Daniel was wonderful. You treated him terribly. We're sad for you, but we're not going to pretend you're the victim here. I'm your daughter. And you're an adult who made adult choices. Now you live with them. Everyone was gone. Jessica blocked me. Mara sent one text, what you did was unforgivable. Don't contact me again. I tried to date. Made a profile on 3 different apps. Every single match asked about my last relationship. I lied at first. Said we grew apart. But word spreads in small cities. One guy recognized me from the story. It had made Reddit. Someone at that dinner had posted it to a relationship forum. Wait, you're the woman who announced her affair at her husband's work dinner? He left before the coffee arrived. I was the cautionary tale. The villain in other people's stories. 6 months after the divorce, I saw Daniel's promotion announcement on LinkedIn. VP of Engineering. Big raise. Corner office. His profile picture showed him at a company event, smiling, Sophie in the background. He'd recovered. Thrived, even. And I was folding t-shirts at Target, taking smoke breaks in the alley, going home to an empty apartment that smelled like mildew. I tried one more time. I wrote a letter. 10 pages. Handwritten. Pouring out everything. The apology. The regret. The desperate hope that maybe, he'd forgive me. I mailed it to his office. It came back 3 days later, unopened, with a note from his assistant. Mr. Hayes has instructed that all correspondence from Emma Chen be returned unread. Future attempts will be forwarded to legal counsel. Mr. Hayes. Like I was a stranger. A nuisance. A problem to be managed. I wasn't even worth 5 minutes of his time. A year after everything fell apart, I saw the wedding photos. Sophie posted them publicly. The algorithm showed them to me like a punishment. Small ceremony. Mountain venue. Sophie in a simple dress. Daniel looking at her like she was his whole world. The comments were full of love. People who knew them, who supported them, who celebrated this new beginning. No one mentioned me. I wasn't even a footnote. I was the before. The mistake. The thing Daniel overcame. I see him sometimes. From a distance. The city's not that big. He doesn't see me. Or if he does, he doesn't acknowledge it. Last month, I saw him at a coffee shop. Sophie was there, and a baby. A little girl, maybe 4 months old. Daniel was doing that thing dads do, making funny faces, making her laugh. Sophie was watching him with this soft smile, like she was watching the best thing she'd ever seen. They looked like a family. A real, happy, complete family. The kind I thought was boring. The kind I destroyed because I wanted more. The kind I'd give anything to have now. I stood outside in the cold, watching through the window, and finally understood. Daniel didn't need to forgive me. He didn't need closure. He didn't need anything from me. Because he'd already moved on to something better. And I was still here. Still stuck. Still paying for one night when I thought cruelty was power. Jessica got married last week. I saw the photos on Facebook. My account isn't blocked from hers, but I wasn't invited. She looked beautiful. Daniel and Sophie were there. In the background of a group photo. Smiling. Part of the celebration. I wasn't just cut out. I was replaced. I'm 34 years old. I work retail. I live alone in a studio apartment that floods when it rains. My family tolerates me out of obligation. My friends have moved on. My ex-husband is raising a daughter with a woman who'll never know my name. This is my life now. Not because Daniel was cruel. But because I was. I thought his quiet strength was weakness. I thought his patience was permission. I thought I could destroy him and he'd just take it. I was wrong. The quiet ones don't explode. They leave. And they don't come back. If you're reading this and thinking about humiliating your partner to feel powerful, stop. Because the people who love you quietly are the ones who will leave you quietly. And they'll build something beautiful without you. You'll watch from the outside, knowing you could have had that, knowing you threw it away. And no amount of regret will bring it back. You chose trash. Now you live in it.